This show is brought to you by Loud and Opinionated. Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Jake Williams Show. I am actually going to be out of town this week for Luke's wedding. Luke's been on this show before. I've talked at length about the things we wanted to do with his wedding. So because I'm out of town, I'm going to be lazy this week and pull something from the archives, something that Luke and I did almost 3 years ago from our 402 Films YouTube channel. Back in the day, we used to do a Batman-themed podcast. We called it the Batcast. I know, very original name. But in honor of Luke getting married, this was his favorite show. So in honor of that, I'm going to put it on this feed for you guys to enjoy. And thanks so much for listening. I will be back on Monday for a special episode. We're going to do the Avengers Endgame spoilercast. And I was probably going to record that this weekend. And we're going to put it up on Monday. Because then it gives you the whole weekend to see the movie. And you won't be mad at me if I ruin it for you. And if you haven't seen it on opening weekend, that's your fault. Everybody agrees that that's like the grace period for spoilers. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks so much for listening. And, like us on Facebook, Loud and Opinionated. Follow us on Twitter, Loud Opinionated. And most importantly, above everything else, be loud and be proud.
Welcome to the Batcast with your favorite dynamic drunken duo, Jacob Williams.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That, everybody, Luke Moyer, give it up for him. My co-host.
Yes. I am a sexy motherfucker.
You are.
I am.
You're very attractive.
You're not so bad yourself there, bud.
I feel a serious Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson
love
interest.
If that ever happened, I would sue Warner Brothers. I'd be like, fuck you guys.
If they had sex?
Yeah.
I don't think that would ever happen. They got enough shit with the Killing Joke stuff with Batgirl. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, we gotta make everything, globally friendly, PC and shit. So they're like, oh, hey, let's just play on this tension that everybody keeps saying that they're gay together. So let's just do it because everybody thinks it, and we're gonna, please everyone.
Okay, so you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Our first episode was going to be the review of The Killing Joke. We're not going to do that. That's going to be our second episode. We've got technical difficulties with the camera, so this is just going to be an audio episode. And The Killing Joke will pretty much be like our first episode. It'll be on YouTube, but it'll technically be the second episode. If that makes any sense. So instead,
Two comes after one. God.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to pitch each other our Batman movie. It has to be an original one. Can't be like...
So we can't reuse cast members? So, like, if I wanted Keaton again, I can't reprise that?
I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying don't tell a familiar... Don't make it... It doesn't have to be a reboot. It's like a standalone thing. So you don't have to retread old storylines. You can do whatever Batman storyline you want. And any actors you want. So, you're up.
Okay.
Just give me your give me your plot, and then I'll pitch you my plot, and then we'll go back and forth with the cast.
My plot would be to initiate a Batman meets what's his fucking name? The guy from Saw. Like the whole guy Jigsaw? Yeah. The guy
that's your Riddler story?
The guy that runs the whole thing. It would be like my Riddler story, where the Riddler is the guy from Saw, and he like makes all these like death traps set around these insane riddles.
And they're all the Bat family is captured in it.
Yeah, the whole like Bat family is pretty much captured, and it's like Batman's got to go save his fucking kids, otherwise they're gonna be taken apart in these Riddler traps. And then he goes in and saves them all. Woohoo. But then he puts Riddler in one of the traps and is like, hey, you're so smart. Get out of your own piece of shit thing. Whatever. And it leaves you with a cliffhanger because you hear the trap like clamp. And then it's just like, hey, did he survive? Didn't he? Is Batman a true killer? Or is it like, hey, you're not as dumb as everyone thinks you are? Kind of thing, you know?
Well, that was a lot better than what I would say. Because I was going to do the Fall of Rome thing, but I'm like, I've already pitched that story.
Yeah.
So I want to do an origin story of Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
I want to see him with his wife.
Because his story is depressing.
And that's why it's so interesting, because it's so much like Batman's, because Batman's a tragedy all the time. And so what I want to do is really develop it, like spend a good 15, maybe do a Deadpool type montage of their relationship.
Yeah.
And I want to write how they meet.
So you're saying you want a Dr. Victor Freeze?
That
And
eventually
then
becomes Mr. Freeze. Like it's a full
but
origin story.
But for the most part, this movie is Dr. Victor Freeze, not Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not until like
Very Spider-Man 1-esque.
yeah. I like that. I like that movie.
I do too. I love freaking
I liked
Toby.
it because it was so cheesy and comic booky,
And that's what
what
it
I want to
was.
do. Is I want it to be a serious adult story, but still have those elements of a comic book movie, because that's what it is. And yeah, I could build on like the development of Mr. Freeze, and let's say Batman isn't in his early stages, and he's not at the end of his career. He's just like
in the middle
of it.
like
Because I feel like
prime
too many times movies focus on his origin and
His
end, and they never really. And there's tons of comics about it, but like movie wise,
They never just have like
it's like one side of the spectrum. It seems like anymore.
that he knows pretty much who everyone is at this point. He's getting pushed to the limits, and we just get, oh hey, I became Batman, and then it's like, hey, I probably should retire by now.
It's just he's
There's no
the way
movie
that I
that
can
just says, hey, I'm Batman, and that's the way it's gonna be.
the way that I can justify Mr. Freeze being in this movie and it being a serious movie about him.
That you bring Arnold back?
No, it's the fact that I want to make it where Batman's in the middle of his career, where he's locked up Two-Face, he's locked up Joker, Riddler, things like that. He's already gotten his big names. So this guy that's like the B-star, the B-lister, steps up and becomes a badass. That's what I want, because I like Mr. Freeze a lot, and I think he's one of the most interesting Batman villains that just gets overshadowed by the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Well,
every
that's
other
pretty
Batman.
much everyone. Because like
That's
I love.
understandable though. Joker is fucking amazing. He's the best villain in any
He's the
medium.
best villain, but my favorite villain is the Riddler. Just because the whole reason why I want to do him is
Gross.
it can be it would be more like a CSI, just like a big crime investigation
It's just
film.
seeing the detective.
Because I
Batman.
like the fact that Batman is the world's greatest detective,
So play it up.
but we really haven't seen that yet.
We saw a little bit.
We saw a little bit
in
of
The Dark Knight. We saw a little bit of it Batman v Superman, but
But-
it's not. A
but I
big
want it-
element,
I
'cause
want it
everybody
to
just
be-
wants to see him punch people.
Yeah, I want to see him be like this full blown like genius. Like I want him to
Yeah.
be smart about everything, and I don't want it to be holy rusted metal Batman. I don't want it to be the campy way that the '60s Batman did it,
Yeah.
because it was so dumb, because they were the dumbest riddles ever. And then you have Robin in the background making a stupid comment to introduce what the fuck he just figured out.
All right.
But
Plot details. There's no more.
okay.
Now we got to pick our cast. So, Luke, who is your Bruce Wayne / Batman?
My Bruce Wayne / Batman would have to be
Keep in mind, he's like middle of his career. Not too old, not too young.
yeah.
Just bad.
I was gonna pick Josh Brolin, but he's getting to the older stages.
Yeah, I could see him as an older Batman, but that's not where we're at.
That's I know. So then I'm gonna
Wait,
do what
Isn't yours in the same time period mine is, right?
yeah.
Middle-ish or-
But I'm gonna take
Good.
that one back and do what BVS did and cast the next best option as his dad. So Josh Brolin is Thomas Wayne. Not that I've decided he plays a factor. It might be a flashback. It might be a flashback scene of Bruce being like, "Hey,
Dad,
my dad wasn't here for me. Their father isn't there for them. So it's time for me to be the father that
he's
I
a
never
dad
had."
trying to save
Yeah.
his family. That's
I want it to
the
be
plot.
super like family oriented and like super like emotional that you think like, "Hey, my kids are all gonna die," kind of thing. But my actual Batman would be like all of the actors I keep thinking of are like really old. Clint Eastwood.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, because he's just so likable and
He's an Ant-Man
funny.
and a Batman. Ben Stiller.
I was gonna say that too, but that would be a terrible.
He's so small.
Chris Kattan.
It's hard. You gotta
It really is.
It's hard to pick the Batman.
It is.
If I could cheat and pick Affleck, I'd just Affleck. Stop stalling.
I'm trying to think, man. I'm looking up actors.
IMDb. Just go back to Keaton. You know you want to.
I do, but
He would do too
but
old.
Keaton's old right now, so I want
Colin Farrell.
Brendan Fraser. Just kidding.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Actually,
That
I
does
do
sound
like
cool,
I do
right?
like Colin Farrell as my middle-aged Batman, unless that's what you're gonna use.
Let's just keep it in the same universe. Let's just use Colin Farrell.
All right, Colin Farrell is both of our Batmans.
Because it's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Plus, he's a good-looking dude.
I would cast my Riddler as Neil
I don't know
Patrick
how he would
Harris.
be as a Bruce Wayne, though. I don't know how Colin Farrell would be as a Bruce Wayne.
He'd probably go the
'Cause
route. He'd rather go the route of Christian Bale.
Anti-hero, like, jackass. So I don't know how
He would probably be Christian Bale's version of where he's just like a complete douche.
Yeah.
So I think he would just.
But we're not really focusing on Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
in ours.
Well, I mean,
It's more
I
about-
kind of am because I want it to be the family
No,
oriented.
your story is so, but he's still Batman most of the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Bruce Wayne stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
But Colin Farrell, my Riddler, I would cast Neil Patrick Harris because I just think he reminds me of the animated series.
but with a green fedora, not a bowler's cap. A fedora, right?
Nah, dude, fucking snap back. OG stuff. No, just kidding. That'd be really stupid. I would
And
hate.
it's a
I would
hoodie.
hate that
He
movie.
doesn't wear a
He wears a
suit.
fucking question mark hoodie. No, fuck you. That's Gotham City High. Like, that's different. Like they all went to high school together. You know
oh
what
my
I'm saying?
god, can we make that? Can we make that show?
Yes.
I wish we could animate.
But Neil Patrick Harris.
Animators wanna work for free.
If I was doing kind of the same storyline with a Joker, I would do Matthew McConaughey.
Because of what we said earlier.
Because of what we said earlier, he'd be like,
Because he was trying to do Heath Ledger's Joker.
I just went too Conaughey on
And he
it.
went Matthew McConaughey. So, all right. So I'll play Batman. I'm not gonna do an accent like a Colin Farrell accent because I can't. So I'll just talk normal. Okay. Why would you do this, Joker? Why?
Because all it takes is just one bad day, and I wanted to prove that to the world. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. See, the thing about the world is, Batman, is once you gain enough power, it's just like a tiny little tennis ball. Just fits right in your hands, and you own it, and it's yours. Yes. That right there. Right there.
That is the Jesus Christ, that's so funny. That's so dumb.
I think it'd be good.
Because he doesn't talk like that anymore.
It doesn't talk like that anymore.
He was one character. He still got that.
He still kind of does that with
Gotta
his
be careful with the
Lincoln
McConaughey
commercials.
though, because the McConaughey can slowly slip into the Bill
'Cause you're-
Clinton.
Bill Clinton is Jake's
is my
Jake's Joker. No, but my whole storyline would
he's
be,
Alfred. Master Wayne.
hey,
I got
come
you
in
some-
here for dinner.
I got you some tea.
It's a pig.
Herbal tea.
It could be in our bellies right now. So,
No, that's not really Alfred.
but no, my Joker isn't in this movie. He might make a cameo appearance because Matthew McConaughey. Holy shit! But it's the Riddler, and he is Neil Patrick Harris going up against Colin Farrell.
Amazing.
Um,
Who's gonna be okay? Okay, so you have
Dick.
You have your villain. So you
Yeah.
have okay. So now I have to, and I got the guy.
Cast your mains.
My Victor Freeze / Mr. Freeze, Michael Fassbender. I think he would.
I like him, but I feel like, I mean, he hasn't really been in a bunch, but I feel like he's one of those that they're just kind of like pushing into shit.
I actually like Fassbender. He's a very
No,
good
I know. I
actor.
like him. He's good. I just think that studios are ruining it for me.
Yeah.
Because they keep casting him and doing everything. Like Cumberbatch. Like, slow the fuck down, bro. And I'm not a Cumberbitch.
I'm a Cumberbatch.
I am not. But anyway.
Fuck you. I like
Continue.
Fassbender.
Continue. Fassbender.
Here's
I
what-
like Fassbender.
Let me say on Fassbender why I think he would be a great Victor Freeze.
Because he
Mr.
plays
Freeze.
two sides of the coin. He's
Well,
very
First of all,
downhearted.
shut up.
Okay.
First of shut up. I'm trying to make a point. First of all, he's proven that he's a great actor.
Yeah.
He's proven that he's very classically. It's like he's just classically trained, kind of Shakespearean kind of actor,
I like it.
and that's great. That's what I like about him, and that's why I think you could apply that to Victor Freeze. He could definitely deliver a performance of a man that is in love with his wife and having the time of his life, and then it is taken away from
It's
him.
because he
And she's getting
plays.
sick, and he could play that guy that goes off the deep end. But you still, because Mr. Freeze at the end of the day isn't a villain, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a guy trying to save his wife.
And I think that's what is good about Fassbender is like
He could pull that. off.
he plays human even better than a normal person acts like a human. Like he can show you every emotion.
He was a freaking robot in Prometheus, and he was still the
Yeah.
best thing in that movie.
Yeah. But I mean he really like reveals
Android,
himself.
I'm sorry, I don't want to offend her.
He reveals himself and you relate to that. Like you
Yeah.
can understand.
Which is why I think he'd be perfect for this.
Yeah, and that like you need someone who can fucking just show you some emotion. Doesn't have to say or like really do anything, but can just like be like, hey, shit happens. And then some more shit happens.
Plus, he's got like he's British, so he could apply more. I
Yeah.
think Free should have an accent.
I think he should have a German accent,
Yeah.
like the.
He could, and I think you could pull off a
Yeah.
German
Oh, yeah.
accent. So, and that sounds like this where it's super SS officer. Or
yeah, German's a fucking
it's a weird one
hard.
because you
accent.
don't want it to sound like that.
Don't what it sounds like
But
France.
when you do the accent, it sounds like that.
yeah.
And I'm sure they think we sound like fucking idiots too. So.
Yeah. Got that good old fashioned accent.
Here's the thing about accents, man. They're cool.
Yes, they are,
They're
man.
cool. You should have McConaughey be Mr. Be cool. Completely eliminate everything I said about how.
No, I would
Mr.
just
Freeze-
make McConaughey like
Right.
his own character,
So
and
you
he
have-
would be the bowl master, where
you
he'd be
have a-
like a bowler.
You have a bigger cast of characters, so I'll just have you reel off
I
the rest of your cast, and then I'll do mine.
would
So
cast
who's your Robin?
as my.
First of all, are you going with the Tim Drake one? Are you going with like?
I'm
You're
going.
gonna have
I'm
Red
going
Hood,
with.
Nightwing,
I'm just going with like. Technically, my favorite.
Batgirl.
I want it to be Dick. This is Jason's time of death. Like, so it's like it hurts.
So you don't
it
want-
hurts Bruce even more because he already lost Jason,
And Red Hood's not in this.
and Red Hood's not in this. So he's already lost Jason. He's already like emotional, and he
So it's Dick and Tim.
Dick, Tim, and then Barbara.
Okay, you're gonna have Batgirl.
So I'm gonna have Batgirl because why not?
Just as long as there's
Ju-
bat sex.
that
at the end.
just gives us probably like another like 10 minutes of movie with Batgirl being in one too. So it's like they're all three kind of like off. They're not all in one chamber. It's like a fucking like old church or some shit, and he's got it converted into
it's a
like
huge building that's like turned into like a labyrinth.
yeah, and he's got like
And while he's trying to find them,
they
they're
are each on like different levels and like different like basically like chamber corridor type deals in these little traps, and they have to like figure out how to get out because it's like all timed and like reactions of one affects the others, so it's really like
and then I love this idea that it's a thriller, like suspense thriller, a little has elements of horror. Batman movie. I love that idea. They would never make that movie. Be a great be a great like miniseries.
yeah.
I like that a lot. But are you gonna? Is there? It's gonna sound like a video game, but are there gonna be parts where henchmen come in, like drop in somewhere?
I want it to be more.
I like where you're going, but you have to have a little, some fighting in it.
Oh
that's
no,
what
yeah.
want to see.
But I mean, for the most part, I want it to be very like,
Contained and
like
small.
like cabin in the woods esque type shit, where he's for the most part alone, and he's trying to get through like the darkness of the church, asylum, whatever the fuck it's gonna be, hospital, and he's trying to like get through all this stuff. He's got to use different gadgets. He's got to use different things. So like basically like Riddler's Revenge and like all that stuff where you have to go find the trophies and you gotta go through all these like little mazes and like mini challenges.
Mhm.
I want that like let's say it's the old hospital. I want it to be kind of like that, and like everything that he does affects the rooms that they're in, and everything that they do in their rooms affect the other ones.
But the point is, going back to what I originally asked, who's Dick Grayson? Who's Nightwing?
So, you know what? I'm gonna take Colin Farrell out of my universe. Push Josh Brolin in there. Josh Brolin is my Batman.
I feel like he's right on the cusp of all Batman, so I think it would work.
I'll use that because I just like how.
Okay, so
his
Colin
face
Farrell's
is-
out. He's still in my movie. Out of your movie.
Because I want it to be make
Fucking
the
took him out of a
Robins.
job.
I want
I
the
hope he-
Robins to be a little bit older
Yeah.
too. So I kind of chose, and I don't necessarily like it, but I think it'll work. I'm gonna put Zac Efron as my Dick Grayson.
I want to say that's stupid, but it totally works.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't want it, but at the same time, I think he could play that
He's won me over.
character.
I was never a Zac Efron fan, and then when he started popping up in comedies, like
And then now he's with
funny
The
in
Rock.
Neighbors, and now he's going to be in the Baywatch movie.
One of my
slowly
favorite
liked
movies
it.
is That Awkward Moment. Like I don't know
that
why,
Awkward
but I love
Moment-
that movie.
I remember you talking, and you're like you were trying to hype it up, and I kept going, "That's stupid. I don't care about that movie. It's a dumb one. I hate Zac Efron." And then I watched it, and I'm like, "Fuck,
And
that was
it's Miles Teller,
Miles Teller and
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, so half the fan four stick." And I went
funny
and I
because it
came
was
out of
fan
that
forced.
movie, and I was just like, that was fucking good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie. What the fuck?
Like it's
And he
so
was the big
sad
reason
and
for it.
depressing, and it's
so I think
good
he could,
and
I think
funny.
he could pull off a Dick Grayson.
Yeah, because I want
But-
him to be more serious, but he's
If we would have
Comic.
still been in High School Musical, like 5-6 years ago, maybe was it? 2010 was the last one. I don't know.
I don't know.
But if it was that, and you said Zac Efron, I'd be like, "You're fucking stupid." But
No, yeah.
now,
Now I love the actor that he's become,
he's really stepped out of
He's really
the
grown
child
up,
star,
yeah.
like teen star
and
problems.
my Tim, shit. I always get that point where I'm like, who should it be?
How old is Tim in this? Have him and
He's probably
Batman
like-
been rolling for a while together?
Yeah, they've been.
He's rolling.
So he's
rolling.
like, he's like
Come on, that was
15.
funny.
And it was pretty funny, but he's like 15. He started when he was like 12
Yeah.
or 11. So it's been like three years or so that Tim's been with him, and yeah, and then Barbara Gordon is about the same age as Tim. I want to say. I just want to go with the storyline of Tim and Barbara.
Oh, they're together.
They're together.
I thought she was with Dick.
She was with Dick.
She dated like all the Robins, didn't she?
Yeah,
that's.
She's been with the whole fucking Bat family, dude.
Now she has.
Because
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Batwing or whatever the fuck his name is. I think they're love interests now.
Well, no. Did you see that like there was a Batman Beyond comic where it revealed that Batman was banging Barbara before Dick was. So
Oh, really?
So it made it seem like she was doing a train on the Bat family. So I like Batgirl. I'm not trying to.
If I was gonna cast,
Don't hate me.
If I was gonna cast a Jason, I would pick the guy from.
Jason's not in this movie. Don't worry.
I know. I mean, I might do like a crazy, insane flashback so I can get McConaughey as Joker in there.
Oh my God, no! McConaughey is Joker.
But the guy from I don't even remember what it's called. But he plays Harry Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I would want him as my Jason.
Yeah.
Just because he plays the I'm doing a good thing, but I'm actually a dick kind of thing. Dick. For my Tim.
3, 2. Do you have your Tim?
Yeah, I said Josh Hutcherson.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. We're bringing it back. Okay, so we got to take a pause there so Luke could do some research.
Yeah,
because somebody didn't come prepared. To be fair, we just decided this topic.
Yeah, so fuck you.
Okay, so we have Zac Efron as Nightwing.
Yep. And I want it to be
Which is
like
a crazy sentence.
And I want it to be pretty boy Nightwing with like the half mullet, like where he's got the mullet going, and he's got the cool like swoop up in the front, but it's like OG Nightwing status, and I want that costume too.
Josh Hutcherson. Is that who we're talking about?
No,
We're talking about
Zac Efron. Zac Efron with the mullet.
Back on Zac.
Like he's got the mullet,
Oh, yeah,
and he's
and
got the classic like
in
baby
the,
blue and gold.
The New 52, like his hair there, where it's longer and it's not emo, it's just long hair.
Yeah.
Because I like Nightwing with long hair.
Yeah. And
Sounds weird.
I want we like casting their outfits now, like their costumes. Like I don't know how we got here.
You kept talking about Zac Efron.
Oh yeah,
He's so dreamy to you, apparently.
yeah, he is. And I want Josh Hutcherson to go the Arkham route, and he has the hood and the stick thing.
The motion looked like a guitar. Like, what?
I don't know. I was rolling it around in my fingers.
In his axe.
His axe. He's not Wonder Woman.
Batman.
But I want it to be like
Robin.
We've done the whole Red Robin like costume. Yeah. I want this one where he's like all green instead of like all red. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. And I want Barbara to do to tuck her hair into her fucking mask because that narrows it down to like half of fucking Gotham with the redheads. And if she ever left her fucking hair at a crime scene and they see that it's, fucking Barbara Gordon. Hey.
So she has
she's got red hair too.
So she has short hair in this?
I mean, I guess, but she's like
spiky.
it's like tucked. No, it's like tucked in.
Oh,
like
okay.
the hat, like the mask.
I see what you're saying.
And
Yeah, but then that kind of looks weird, doesn't it? Because I can't picture Batgirl without the hair.
yeah, it's true.
It just seems weird.
We'll hit that in post.
That's such a dumb thing to nitpick.
Yeah.
It sounds so misogynistic. I don't.
And I
want it to
want-
sound that
and I
way. I'm
want-
just saying it's hard to identify.
I want this
They all-
movie to be dark and like just horror-ish, but I also want their costumes to be really bright and like comic book friendly.
Mhm.
So I want Batman's to be a lot like Batfleck, but I want it to be blue instead of black. So like the classic blue and gray.
Well, what you could do with that, and you could do with like what Telltale Games was doing with their bat suit. It was all gray, and the symbol was black. So you could do like a little bit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Little bit lighter of a blue, like maybe a darker blue, so it almost looks black. I don't know. It just it's hard to pull off the blue and not look campy.
Yeah, I mean, I want them to look campy, but at the same time, I don't. So I want it to be
Tone
like
down, say like a navy blue, maybe like a or midnight blue.
But I want like Dick. I want Nightwing's costume to be like the navy blue with the baby blue and like the yellow trim. You know what I'm talking about? Like the old school Nightwing.
It sounds like UCLA Bruins. That doesn't.
You know what I'm talking about though? I like that, and then I want
like Static Shock to me.
And I want Tim to be a little bit old school Robin, but like not the fucking underwear tights. But like I want it to be kind of old school, but I want it to be green, all green.
Okay.
But basically like the red Robin costume, but flipped from red to green.
So it looks like Christmas.
No, it would be like green and yellow. But
I'm joking, bro.
Yeah.
So what about Batgirl's gonna have her hair tucked or what?
Or
is it shorter?
I mean the logic behind it
makes sense.
Is flawed.
It's sound
but movie production,
TNA,
but for fashion,
it's
I would have
hard-
it out.
it's
I would have it
hard
out. Yeah.
to dispute like.
Or we could just
Because
do
their
like
costumes are
Batman
just-
and Robin and how she just rips it off. She's in it for 2 seconds and then just rips the thing off, and she's like Robin, where her hair's flowing and she's just got the really shitty hero mask. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
That DC loves those masks. I don't know why. They don't cover anything.
Yeah. Like, all right. That, and then I want to make Riddler like not so much Power Ranger 90s TV show where kids have to see him in the same color, otherwise they don't realize who it is, kind of thing. So I don't want him to be like always like sporting the suit with the question marks.
Yeah.
I want it to be like he's always in a suit and he like is just really well dressed. But like he'll like his cufflinks are question marks, and like just like little nods to the question mark. Like I love the costume, but I think for the way that I want this to be, I want it to seem like he's just like a doctor, like a psychiatrist kind of thing, where he's really in your mind, and he just seems like this lovable guy because he looks good.
Does he know Batman?
He doesn't know yet.
Okay.
Because I think that just ruins
But how did he get?
storyline.
Never mind. Because my justification for him knowing who Bruce was is he had thugs break into Wayne Manor and kidnap Tim, and then they had somebody go
That's
to
true.
Bloodhaven, and then somebody go to Gordon's house.
I can see that.
You don't have to do that, but I'm just saying that's.
Yeah, I
you
can see that.
You could write that in.
I
you
could.
wanted. I'm not saying you have to do it.
I mean, like that makes sense for it, but like, I mean, I would probably end up doing that because that's cool. But I don't like.
Thank you.
I don't like the idea of every villain he ever fights and every girl he ever fucks knows.
Yeah.
And it's like not one of these guys kind of like let it slip to the others, or be like, hey guys, I just fucked Batman.
Well, it's like a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, it's true.
I was watching Fat Man on Batman when they were talking about Lex Luthor and BVS, where like if he got locked up, he could get out. He could be like, I know I did a lot of shitty things, but I know who Batman is. And then they would be like, okay, if you give us Batman, we'll
Yeah, like
fuck that.
give
You're
you
a month in Arkham.
yeah, a month in Arkham and $500 community service because they're not going to do it. Because
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, it would be community service because they're giving jobs, the cops jobs to do.
Yeah.
So, all for the community.
That could be your twist, though, that he knew.
Yeah.
And then it shows a montage of him doing the plan. Again, that
like,
would be my pitch to you for that idea.
That he doesn't know. Like he doesn't think he knows, and that just shows how much like that the Riddler is so good that he's always one step ahead of you. And then he like when in the games, like when he's going after the Joker, he's always got like the TVs in the hallways, and he's like talking to him on the TV, like telling him I did this, or you need to come to here to figure out this.
Mm-hmm.
I want kind of like that, but like with the Killing Joke, when Gordon's going through on the ride and he's showing him all the pictures, I want kind of like that, to where when Batman's going in and through with different things, he's showing, like he's slowly revealing that, like, hey, I already know you're fucking Bruce.
Right.
And he's like showing like the thugs breaking into the Wayne Manor, grabbing Tim, and you just see like little fights of Tim by himself fighting all these guys, and then eventually gets captured.
Pitch my idea back to me right now.
Am I?
Because that's exactly what I just said. That the thugs would break into Wayne
Yeah,
Manor.
no, I'm pre-pitching.
You're elaborating.
But I'm elaborating on what
Okay,
I'm telling you. And then that they like have videos of each individual person like fighting and trying to get themselves out.
Yeah, he pops it up on a screen or something.
Yeah. And
Like,
then
this is what I did here.
yeah, and then
No, he
finally
doesn't talk like that.
finally gets in and saves him, does all that.
Dude, you could use modern technology for that idea, and it could be like fucking Vines. Like he's sending Batman Vines, like Instagram videos, like
That'd be cool.
DMing him. Because at this point, now he knows Bruce Wayne's number.
Yeah.
That's how he gets it.
That'd be cool.
The more I talk about it, I like it.
I know, but, like I wish I could get it. Like I could actually do it and like fucking promote
Why don't
this
we
shit.
just make the comic? Why don't we just draw the comic?
Yeah, and then
Pitch it to DC. If they don't like it, be like, fuck you. No, we're kidding. If you ever want to hire us, or
Warner
something.
Brothers. We're property of Warner Brothers Inc.
Don't sue us. Don't sue the Batcast.
But yeah, like that whole thing, and then they finally get in there, and Batman and him have like a big like epic battle at the end. And I also want to show that like the Riddler isn't just this guy who is smart. He can actually hold his own. Like he's so smart that he's like developed certain skills just because he knows the proper like science and stuff behind. So kind of like Sherlock Holmes, where he like
It's
does
a
all
game
that
of
shit.
Wits between
It's a game of wits
between Batman and the Riddler.
Yeah, so I don't want to actually like do like a slow mo where he like does all like the fucking geometry and science behind it, but like it's implied that that's the way that it happens. So it's not just you're going to Arkham kind of thing. It's like
Actually, a fight.
a fight, because that's one thing that I don't like.
Kane, again, this is what could be fun about your movie, because you said you want to have.
He pulls it out as a fucking sword.
No, that's better than what I was gonna pitch. Because I was gonna say like it hits him with the smoke pellet, because he doesn't know how to fight, so he just hits him with the smoke pellet and like runs around and it's like swinging and hitting at him.
So like
He actually keeps landing it miraculously, and then Batman knocks him out of it. Like, I'm not gonna get fucking punked by this guy. And then maybe you could pull out the sword, and he's like, "Oh, you really want to play?" And like, but
yeah.
I don't think Riddler should be a good fighter, because then it's just stupid that everybody knows how to fight.
I
I'm a villain. I automatically know how to fight Batman.
I want it to be that he doesn't know, but like he learns to do it like in mid battle, like he knows.
Lucky.
Yeah, kind of not so much lucky, but like he's looking at the fight.
I just don't want to make Batman look like an idiot.
No, yeah, I want it to be.
I don't want him to get beat up by scrawny.
No, he's not. He's
Riddler.
not for the whole fight. It's not like he's gonna be. Oh, I'm a better fighter because I know what the fuck I'm doing, kind of thing. I want it to be where Batman goes in, fucking starts wailing the shit on him. So like he's beating him up, whatever, and then the Riddler is like slowly like studying it to where he can like eventually figure it out, so that he can be more defensive.
He notices a pattern.
Yeah, he notices the pattern.
Because you had to have a rhyming pattern in a poem. Which are sort of like riddles.
Which is, I thought you were going to say, which is like a poem, which is sort of like ass kicking.
What?
Yeah. But, no,
I'll write the dialogue.
I want it to be where he slowly notices, like, the pattern in Batman's fighting style, and then they kind of have a little bit more of an epic battle. I mean, it doesn't have to be like full blown like Justice League Annihilation, but I don't like the whole just one punch, he's out, and take him to jail. Because like you're going through this whole fucking thing, this whole process of this movie, just to have it end with one punch. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. I agree with you. There should be a formidable fight, but I just don't want to. As long as we don't make it seem like every villain that Batman has automatically knows how to fight.
Yeah, I want it to be where he's literally getting his ass kicked, and he's like getting close to fucking just keeling over.
Boom! He stabs Batman because the king was a sword.
All right. Well, I pretty much pitched mine.
I know.
Done from start to finish, cast, costume, except Alfred, I guess. Paul McCartney. Colin Farrell's my Alfred. Then he kills Batman, and it's an alternate universe where he becomes. All right,
Did
go
you
ahead.
say that Commissioner Gordon was going to be James Earl Jones?
Yeah, I wanted Commissioner Gordon to be James Earl Jones.
Morgan Freeman.
No, I pulled that back because I wanted him to be Two-Face so that he can be like his Harvey Dent good side is Mufasa and his bad like evil side is Darth Vader. And
No.
yeah, and
What about the part where he's the king and coming to America?
that's when he's starting to seek psychiatric help. And he thinks he's a king of Africa. Zamunda. And and
That's better than anything I could ever pitch.
and this is even part of the movie. But Two-Face starts seeking psychiatric help, and he thinks he's the king of Africa. And that's...
I'm going to stop you right there.
All right.
Oh, Jesus. So I'm trying to think of Mr. Freeze's wife. Who should play Victor Freeze's wife?
Let's just hop on the fucking casting train and do Margot Robbie. Just kidding.
Her and Fassbender doing it? Yeah, that's something I'd pay to see.
Yeah. I would choose someone else. I don't know who, but I mean, I was just pitching because she's hot.
Yeah, but she's Harley Quinn. I don't want.
That's yeah.
I don't want to.
I don't want to confuse everyone.
Why is Harley Quinn with Mr. Freeze? Plot twist. She is.
It's fucking Dr. Harleen Quinzel. Oh my god.
She was with Dr. Freeze.
She was with the fucking Freeze Man. Captain Cold is another fucking universe. Or no, same universe, different city. Sorry.
I appreciate that.
Fucking side note. Okay, so you have your Victor Freeze
right.
and your Batman.
Colin Farrell's Batman. Robin's not going to be in this story. So I want to make it where he isn't with Robin yet.
So he's quotes
Hasn't
halfway through.
Kind of like hasn't quite met Dick yet. And
Okay.
this kind of overplaying with that stupid continuity. No, I just hate how comic books are like that because they have to keep rebooting everything and changing everything, and that's why I only read graphic novels anymore. I don't waste. I'm like, oh, this is a cool story arc. I'll read that.
I that's always how I've been. I like comic books. I'll read them, but like I don't go out and purchase and fucking spend Ubers of cash and like really get into comic book and that whole world of it because there's so many storylines. Like, there's so many. How can you keep up? And how do you know which one you're going to, base off everything else off of? Like, did this really happen? Is that supposed to have happened? Like, it's just so hard to, like, stay up to date with.
I baited you into letting me stall to find somebody.
Yeah, I know you did. Getting pissed off at me, fucking.
I think
Jessica Alba.
Mrs. Freeze should be Charlize Theron.
I always do that. Like, I know who you're talking about, but I never know.
Charlize Theron, she's Furiosa in Fury Road, Mad Max. Fury Road.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she's also. Did you see Prometheus?
Yeah.
She's also in Prometheus.
Ooh, chemistry.
I think she's attractive.
Yeah.
I think she would deliver a very good performance, and I think her and Fassbender's interaction will be great. So she is my Mrs. Freeze.
Okay.
So there's no Robin. It's actually not a very big.
Are you just gonna have the 3, or gonna have like?
I was gonna,
understudies?
there'll obviously be Alfred,
Yeah.
which I don't know who my Alfred would be yet. There's gonna be Commissioner Gordon, Bryan Cranston reprises his role as Commissioner Gordon because he was Commissioner Gordon in the animated movie. And ever since I've heard his voice with that character, I'm like, that would be awesome. I think J.K. Simmons is a great actor. I think he's going to kill it. But my first choice would have been Bryan Cranston. So Bryan Cranston's Commissioner Gordon. Alfred is... middle of his... How old do I want Alfred to be? That's the question.
You could go the route of BVS, where he's just
Jeremy
like...
Irons is awesome.
Where he's just like... about the same age as his dad. So he's not like real old, but he's not like ancient.
Ian McShane. No, I'm kidding.
John McClane.
Bruce Willis. That's awesome. No, I don't know.
I would say Patrick Stewart.
Master Wayne.
Master Wayne. You got to get to
You're getting a little Sean Connery on me.
I know.
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
Highlander.
What is wrong with it? Let's just do a video where we pick actor.
Benedict Cumberbatch is my...
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
Pick a character, like pick an actor, and we had to do the whole podcast in that accent.
No.
Yes.
You have to be the Joker one episode. And I'd have to be Batman.
That'd be so hard.
You sound like you just go McConaughey.
I know, I do go McConaughey. I try to do it, and then if I do it too long, then it's like...
Joke's on you, Batman.
Or I could do some Bane. You know?
Blinding.
It's blinding. It's like
Are we done? I think this is a good time to cut it off.
Oh,
What's your title? Wait, what were we saying? What we didn't do?
You didn't really pitch me your whole story. I mean, we can cut this in half, or we could just be like, "Hey, I don't think it's really been that long." But
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how to, because it's a very basic plot. It's literally like the movie. I think doesn't open up with Batman in it. It opens up. I don't want to do flashbacks, so I don't want to hop around between present time when Mr. Freeze is running amok and causing a ruckus, and Batman's fighting him. I don't want to jump back and forth because that's too much like The Killing Joke and so many other Batman stories where they, have all these flashbacks. So I want it to happen real time. The issue I'm having is how do I blend in Batman into this? Because this is a
you would do. It's Victor Freeze is doing this experiment, so you have to establish like what he's working on, and you'd have it funded by Bruce Wayne, and you would basically say that it was Bruce Wayne's lab that malfunctioned and fucked up, so he's after Bruce. And you would have it be like their relationship as well as him and his wife kind of thing.
I feel like what
and
should
then you
happen,
can do it.
What should happen there is, I don't think it's something that Wayne Enterprises fucks up. I should think they knew each other before.
Okay. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he's not so much that Wayne Enterprises is doing it. They could just be like
He's
funding
working for
his
them.
research.
He's working for them. Like, Freeze is in like the science division
Okay.
of Wayne Enterprises, so they know each other. They've interacted with each other. Freeze has no idea he's Batman, and
Vice versa.
well, Bruce figures it out because he's the detective. But yeah, they know each other, and Batman had met his wife, and because they'd worked together there, they had that.
And they found out that Bruce was having an affair. Oh my god!
No, I
I'm
wouldn't
just
go
kidding.
there. But I think that would be a cool setup because I think that would be
Yeah.
And you'll have your Batman fighting shit, and I think you could have like
Freeze Ray.
yeah,
Freeze.
they take selfies together.
I also think.
Put that on the gram.
Well, this is more towards the end because I want
Yeah.
like what his suit kind of is, like the Batman, the cartoon, where he doesn't have a gun. He like has like the things in his hands that like project ice. I thought that was cool. Like it's like a mist that he just like frozen.
I like the gun.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean, the gun's cool, but it's kind of like
booky too. It's a little. I couldn't. Now that I think about it, I can't see Michael Fassbender, Mr. Freeze,
hey,
holding a gun
Yeah.
doing that. So I think that might be a better thing, or maybe he has like kind of more practical stuff. Like he could have dry ice or something. Like not necessarily be for theatricality, as the League of Assassins would say, but it's just something for him to be like. It's enough to slow you down. Like you're gonna get blinded by it, and then he can come up and hit you with I don't know. The ice shooters sound a little silly. The only hard part of the Mr. Freeze pitch is how do I make what he does not seem silly?
yeah,
Because his story is great, his origin and all that is great, but how do I not make it look stupid? Because people are still gonna think the goal of this would be to make people forget about Batman and Robin. And that version of Mr. Freeze. And the idea would be, this is what really Mr. Freeze is like. And this is kind of that thing. Kind of righting the wrongs of that whole
Well, like I think one thing they did really well in Batman and Robin was the moment where he's sitting in the cooler and he's watching their old wedding video.
That was perfect.
That was ruined by fucking
Sing!
No, it was ruined by the fucking one of his thugs running in there like, "Hey, boss," and he's like, "I hate it when they talk during the movie."
Oh my god, yes, that was so bad.
And he's like,
Well, and the fact that he's fucking his lair is
"Is
just
an ice cream shop,
a fucking igloo, like ice cream,
Yeah.
and oh my god, that movie.
frozen dinners."
That's a whole nother episode where we roast that because but.
Anyway, you want it to be really emotional,
Emotional.
really real.
So, yeah. So I think that would be the hard part. Well, I didn't even know what we were talking about before that. I know I wanted to start the movie. I want to start the movie. Okay, it's not I know I just said I hate flashbacks, but it's not a flashback in my mind because it's not necessarily showing the ending of the movie and then
You started off with
It's in the
them
middle
running
of the
down the aisle and having their
It's-
honeymoon.
No, it's literally in the middle of the story where we get the first shot of the movie. Because the first shot of the movie is. That's another thing. Do I make him blue? I don't want to make him blue.
The 60s Batman did make him blue.
That was a totally different Batman. Or totally different story. Like,
I know.
They rewrote
I know.
the Mr. Freeze story. But maybe a blue tint in the helmet, like
Yeah.
blue lights. Because I don't want him to look. I don't want blue skin. Because then it just kind of, again, plays too campy.
Yeah.
So it shows him.
You should just
He's
do
bald.
like what everybody else does and make his hair white.
He's bald. And he's just sitting there, standing
Hairless.
there. And it's kind of like how Bruce Wayne looks at the bat suit in BVS. Like you just see like an angry look, and he's looking up, and then it's just like dun dun, like classical like villain sequencing, like dun 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 dun, and then like lights open up, and it's his suit, and then boom, snaps to the beginning when he first meets his wife, and
like he's
have that love story.
He's thinking to himself like, I'm doing all these bad things.
Become this monster to save you. So that's what
but I'm doing it to save you. Thing. So it's like emotional. I think you should do. I don't know how you do it, but a cool cut if like he is standing and like he's got her in that like fucking glass thing. She's like frozen in whatever it is, and
he looks over it.
He looks at it,
After
and then
he looks at his suit, he looks over it.
And then he sees the reflection of the suit, and then he turns around, and then it's your big like epic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be cool. Is that it? We're done?
I was burping. And then it develops that love story that I pitched earlier where it's spending more time. Then it can show you when he runs into Bruce Wayne. But at some point, we have to intercut Batman beating people up because that's what they're going to want.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. So we got to interlude that in there. That could be. I thought of a funny way of introducing that too. Was when Freeze first gets there. He's been working like late. It's his new job. He wants to impress people. He wants to move up. He finds out. Oh, did we make her pregnant? Because that's even more heartbreaking.
Oh God.
Finds out she's pregnant, and he's like doesn't sleep or anything, whatever. But that's later. He's like, I don't get any sleep, and then Batman goes, or he's talking to Bruce Wayne about it, and it cuts to like Batman beating the shit out of people, and then it cuts back to him.
Just like one of those super fast, like quick, like
montage, like
and then
a
it's
little
done.
joke that I throw in there and be like, yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Because I want to have a little bit of humor in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be fucking grim the whole time. Because fucking pregnant, frozen wife.
His fucking pregnant ass wife. Fucking
She's
frozen
newly
thing.
pregnant, okay? She's not like 3 months pregnant,
But would that freeze the baby at the certain that present state too?
Yeah.
It says
What? Because now he's got 2 people he's got to save, and then he can't fucking do it because it's so sad.
Oh God.
And I'm gonna do exactly what
Please. Freeze. Will you help me?
And here's how I'm gonna end it. Exactly how it ends in the animated series, where he has a snow globe in his cell, and then it just fucking fades to black. Isn't that depressing?
That's so sad.
But it's so Batman.
I'm like tearing up a little bit.
I guess it's so sad. That's what's the beauty of what Paul Dini did with that character, and you could totally bring that.
Because the animated
was like, amazing. They rewrote his origin.
He talked like this because he was more of a robot than a man.
What Middle Eastern robot?
like
that.
Like, it was like that, like a robotic face to be like, hey, he's been frozen to where he literally like has no emotion, but the one thing that he still has is that anger and that like that regret for himself because he can't save her.
She's trapped. And then Batman cures her and she gets with him. That's the after credits scene. No. Even worse, just more shit.
Just piling up on the fucking God. Turns out it's really Bruce's baby the whole time.
I'm gonna steal the DLC name too. If I'm gonna make because it's Warner Brothers, we own it.
Hot of cold.
Cold, hot. No, we can't though because then people are gonna think I'm adapting that and they're like, oh, this is anything like that.
You could just do like the animated series and was it like Sub-Zero?
No. I don't know. I don't want to be too punny. Like
Yeah.
Heart of Ice. It sounds like Game of Thrones or something. It doesn't sound like Batman. Help me out. What's the name of yours?
Riddle me this.
Mic drop. Look out.
Look out.
Well, what should I name this movie?
Or I would just call it like Benji's is best served cold.
That's what Batman. That's what Colin Farrell Batman says.
Like the Irish like fucking whatever.
Escargot cold.
Like, I don't even know what his accent is.
That's why I said don't try it because I can't.
Because it's like I don't know. I always go
if
Cuban.
I can't do it, I'm not gonna. Try
If I was trying accent and I don't know it, I go Cuban.
Hi.
Hi. You over there? Come on.
Come here. I know you, Victor. I know you, Prince. Come on. Well, that's a good time to stop as any. Thank you so much for listening to the first ever episode of the Batcast. Follow us on Twitter at 402films. Follow me personally, Jake Williams, at Lumberjake on Twitter. He is at Luke Moyer, or Lucas Moyer.
At Lucas Moyer on the
Twitter.
Space.
Follow me on Instagram. Same thing. So do that.
Yeah, dude.
Post all that stuff. Thank you. We will be here
This has been the Batcast.